Wow, okay, this is on and it works. Hi, hello world. This is Olivia, and I'm back with one of my program management videos. Now, I love filming at night, so this is why I'm filming now. I didn't really take any notes for this video, but I've been wanting to make it all day because there are some interesting things that I have to share. So, right now, I am in Brazil. So, what I have here, I've got a pen, and I've got a passport. So, I'm American, so it's like American passport. I'm not going to show you all the good stuff, but I will show you the stamps, because the stamps are the best part. Did they put it there? No, that stamp is from Tunisia. Where did they put it? Why did I just put it in like a weird page? Oh, there it is. Alright, that's the stamp for Brazil. Then we've got some like boarding passes. I'll cross out my like frequent flyer number here. Probably totally still see that. Anyway, boarding passes to Brazil. Oh. American Airlines tickets. Anyway, so I'm in Brazil. Now, here's something that I want to help other people who are traveling, and specifically people who are thinking about joining tech companies and joining tech companies that have international teams, and maybe you're interested in working on tech in the developing world. Now, Brazil is still it's a part of LATAM, and it's not like North America or Europe, and so basically everything out of like North America, outside of like North America and Europe is kind of still considered like the developing world. And there's like a lot of reasons for that. Like I think it's pretty important to note, like currently I'm in Sao Paulo, so it's actually a much more modern city than like other cities, say like Rio de Janeiro, or other cities in Brazil. Now, I have a friend who's he was already traveling here, and I was like, oh, I want to go to Latin America, so I'll just come and I'll meet you here. And even he has a couple friends who are like already here, so I definitely didn't come here by myself. And if you are a female, I would highly recommend you to not come here by yourself as an American. It's just that in Latin America, the poverty is on a different level, right? Like when you see poor people living on the street, they're like actually like sleeping on the sidewalks. A lot don't even have tents. Like I know if you've seen like movies and stuff from the 20s, you might see people who are like trying to wash car windows with like soap and water and like soda, like Coca-Cola bottles with like water, like at a stop sign. Like that type of stuff happens here now, and people are trying to make like a quarter, so it's like really rough. And also they have the like Rio de Janeiro or the Brazilian like money, which I'll even show you because I like have some here. So it's like a whole different type of currency. Let's see what I got here. These are like Brazilian reals, right? It's like a 2, got like a 10, 20. Kind of looks like Monopoly money a little bit. It's definitely not though. It buys like very real food, acai bowls, Ubers, you know. But the American dollar is just so much stronger. So certain things are really interesting. And this is the way, like, if I've actually been following a lot of like, I'll call them, it's like a proper name for them, digital nomads. A lot of digital nomads who like move to Thailand. Like Thailand's like a really cool place for digital nomads, but actually Brazil is a really cool place for digital nomads too, because they have Wi-Fi, and like in Sao Paulo at least, they have Uber Eats. They have something else called like Rappi, which is basically like Uber Eats, but it's like the local version. And if you have like some sort of side hustle that's like making you really like any money at all, American dollars, you can live very well. Like the rent out here, the average rent that I've seen is like 300 to 400 reals, which I think in American money is like $50 or something. So for $50, you can like literally pay a month's rent. So multiply that by 12, $600 is that? Yeah, you can live for a whole year in Brazil. Imagine how many skills you could build for $600 in a year. They have like everything's free on YouTube. So let's say you're like me and you're like, I want to just double down on my meta learning research. I don't want to be bothered by this like American rent. Find yourself a find yourself a Brazilian like Airbnb, stay there for like a year, and you can literally become a whole master at whatever it is that you're doing, right? Like I'm already super into like research. For $600, I could literally just focus solely on research and nothing else. I even found this grocery store today that's like, it's called Supermercado Mambo Lata, which is basically like, it's like a Whole Foods type of store that's in Brazil. Same quality as Whole Foods, maybe even better because the food's like more fresh, like basically no pesticides. I spent like 500 reals, but I think that's like, what, $50 or something? Or maybe it's like $100 in US dollars. I think it's like $100, maybe $80 in American dollars. But I got like a ton of food. The American dollar just goes so far here, and it can get you so much. Like it just doesn't make any sense to be paying like American dollars in America if you are on the come up. Like unless you are like inheriting a bunch of stuff from like your family and you can just like live for free. It's like all of the things that you're paying for in America, you can get here for way cheap, for like 1/5 of the price, including the cost of living. So I just want everyone to think about that, because you can basically almost like buy yourself some time. Like let's say you work for like a year doing, I don't know, whatever, and you earn like $4,000, and then you just invest 1,000 of that into like Brazilian rent, and then you just use the rest of it for like food and Ubers. You can just gain that whole skill in a year, 1 year. That is just, it's just nuts, right? Like, what? Like, it's pretty intense. Also, pretty great. So I just wanted to share that. Probably gonna make a couple other videos here about things that I've learned. Oh, I also wanted to point this out. Now when you're booking, you know, your place on booking.com or like Airbnb or whatever service that you're using to like book your place, you might not be familiar with the actual neighborhoods, and that is super important. Like where you live will determine quite a lot about like the lifestyle that you are currently living, honey, because like I bought a place that, the place looked really nice. That's so funny, I totally screwed up the ponytail. It's fine. The place looked really awesome on Airbnb. Like the bed was pretty and like, you know, it was clean, it was modern, the shower was nice. I was like, oh, this will do. then when I got there, it was like in the hood, honey. It was like downtown, but like even everybody knows like downtown is like not nice at night. And the homeless, the freaks come out at night. Like literally there's hella poor people. It's really dirty. Like there's a bunch of like these little shops or whatever that like I wouldn't call them like corner stores, but kind of like corner stores. Like they're all around. Like I have a ton of videos where you can kind of see it. There are some like cool like coffee shops, but it's COVID, so you can't like sit in there and eat. But in another neighborhood that like my friend was living in, it's called like Villa Magdalena. Super, super, super nice place. And it's kind of like, if you're from California, it really reminded me of like my old neighborhood, or I should say my mom's old neighborhood, which is like Brooklyn or East Lake. It's kind of by Lake Merritt, you know, like Lakeshore, how Lakeshore has like all of those like restaurants and like strip, and then you can kind of go up those hills and people live there, and there's like a nice little lake and people like bike around. That's what this neighborhood's like, except they have more like acai shops, like a ton, oh my god, like a ton of sushi places, bars, nightclubs, like a ton that are like really, really top notch and nice. And they also have it's almost like a couple blocks that are like tech blocks where they have like a Birkenstock facility. They've got I don't know what some of these other companies are, because like I'm not Portuguese or Brazilian and I don't speak the language, and I'm not familiar with like the tech scene out here, but I'm still trying to scope it out, so when I learn more, like I'll share. But yeah, there's like tech companies, there's like these things that are like city bikes, but they're called like Tescalis or something. But also something that's interesting is you need this like CPR, CPN type of number in order to like use services out here. And I don't have that because like I'm not like a Brazilian citizen, so I think I can't get that. And even when I try to sign up with like all my American stuff, they're like, this violates the terms of service. So I have to figure out a way to get one, which I think we did figure out a way to get one, but yeah, so that's all I've got for now. I'll try to think of some more stuff and then share it before I go, because I do want to make a couple videos while I'm here. Also, this is such a wonderful place, like it's so cute. Okay, cool.